Hello guys, with new terrifying and scary encounters taking place in the home of Luan, aka Yoshualuc. Today we will take a proper look into the very beginnings of his nightmarish journey, as he and his family seem to be haunted by a really creepy looking entity. So please join me tonight as we explore the creepy case of Yoshualuc, and please dress appropriately, because it's about to get frosty. The account Yoshualuc was created by Luan, a father who started uploading videos of his son Joshua. They were fooling around and creating funny skits together. Nothing unusual. Basically a hobby project and video diary for the two. Luan, his son, his little daughter and wife are living together in Mexico. They own a little store and have their own apartment right behind of that place. However, on September 26th, their peaceful family life seemed to have gotten disturbed by an unusual encounter. The same day, Luan uploaded a video in which he tells us that his little boy was seeing a child that supposedly was running around in the store. A pretty odd statement, since nobody was there. Certainly no other child. Luan walks through the apartment and the store with a ghost filter applied, and opens up about some weird happenings within the last couple of days that he hasn't really talked about yet.
O cuando bajamos para abrir la tienda vemos que hay cosas tiradas. Lo único raro que yo he encontrado es eso, ahorita. Y vean, ¿qué vieron ahí? Aquí la silla. Y últimamente el niño pues llora, o sea, va corriendo. Pueden ver, aquí no hay nada. De hecho hay una escuela aquí enfrente.
The following night, Luan is woken up at around 4 AM and he starts recording again, since another strange incident was unfolding. The family woke up due to some really loud bangs stemming from their store, and Luan expected it to be a burglar perhaps. But when checking, yet again, nobody was seen. How weird. He uploaded this video to his profile shortly after this incident.
Vean, no hay nada. Ah, cabrón. ¿Sí vieron? No sé qué pasó. Mejor me voy, le digo a mi esposa, porque esta chingadera se movió sola. Ya me está dando cosita.
Luan was quite freaked out and he shared his nightly recordings not only on his profile, but also consulted with his wife about what could be done about these weird happenings. His wife still wasn't fully convinced that it wasn't the work of an intruder, so they both agreed to install CCTV cameras, which would keep the premises under surveillance, and shortly after they had hooked it all up, they shared the next update on his profile. Luan states that they had a priest come over. He was blessing the store area as well as the apartment, but the situation had worsened. Besides the activity you are seeing on screen here, the family has been hearing noises in the corridors in their home. In the morning there were some loud bangs stemming from the store, and when Luan checked it and recorded this incident, his phone miraculously died. But what's even more terrifying is that his little daughter now says that she saw a woman in the apartment. His son Joshua is still afraid of many items, and just this morning his wife thought to have seen a woman too out of the corner of her eyes. Luan slowly starts to drift into anxiety, maybe for a good reason. They also contacted the local medium for advice, and after checking the place out on her own, she came to the conclusion that two entities are haunting their home, and she handed them candles that they were supposed to use in all the rooms and the storage area. She said it would help to make it more livable again. However, this particular day, Luan captured something bone-chilling without even noticing.
Bueno, les platico rápido. Nos dice que son dos entidades malignas y lo que quieren expulsarnos de la casa. No sabemos por qué o qué. Pero ayer se puso la situación muy tensa en cuanto se fue. Se caían cosas, se oían susurros. En la madrugada, en un closet que tenemos enfrente de nuestra cama, empezaron a tocar por dentro del closet.
Did you notice it? Something appeared to be with him. dark figure is standing on top of one of the shelves there, seemingly looking down on Luan. What was it doing there? And who or what was it? Perhaps the lady spirit that his wife and little daughter had seen in the past couple of days. Things seemed to really take a turn for the worse at this point. The following night, his wife and himself were waking up to loud bangs again, and they started documenting.
Dios mío, ¿qué es eso? ¿Hay alguien ahí? ¿Quieres algo? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? No inventes, ¿qué es eso? ¿Qué es? Se abrió. Espérate, cálmate. ¿Hay alguien ahí? ¿Te podemos ayudar? ¿Necesitas algo? Dinos. ¡Se asomó alguien! ¡Alúzame! Espera. Espérate, alúzame. No hay nada, mira, no hay nada. No sé. ¿Sabes qué? ¿Sabes qué? Vamos con los niños. Vámonos con los niños, yo creo, mira. Aquí no hay nada. De este lado tampoco hay nada.
A terrifying visage can be seen peeking out of the closet, which, to make matters worse, is placed right in front of their bed. It was very likely for it to be one of those entities, and while we can make out facial features on that thing, it does look a bit off. Does this thing have hair, or is that some kind of brain matter? Luan and his family were pretty freaked out after that, and it took until the 10th of October until a new update was posted on their account. Yet again, he woke up in the middle of the night due to very intense barking noises that were caused by the dogs outside. He pants towards an old school, which was built right across from their home. Obviously, there should not be anybody there that late at night, and it might not have been related to the situation in his home. Yet, he had a strange feeling about all of this.
No se ve nada anormal. Mija, se asomó alguien. Se está asomando alguien en la escuela. Se asomó alguien en la escuela, mija. Mira, otra vez se asomó alguien. Párate para que veas que no estoy payaseando, no es mentira. Es en serio. Mira, levántate.
At this point, Luan didn't post much anymore. Turns out that his family was so afraid that they decided to move out for a little bit and spend some time at their family's place, in hopes to maybe calm down the situation at home. But as you can imagine, it wasn't that easy. After Luan returned to their home, he noticed that the tap water seemed to be infused with worms all of a sudden. Disgusting. In his opinion, it was related to all of this negative energy in his house. He slept there alone for a couple of nights. After a few weeks, he had his wife and kids sleeping in the apartment again. And of course, the first night they were staying over shaped out to be a particularly active one, as they had to check the store after they heard things that were being thrown around.
A ver, dame chancita para yo grabar. Si quieres, graba ahí donde se ve, donde está oscuro, allá donde están las papas. Bueno, está bien. Voltea para allá.
Es que está muy oscuro y luego, ¿qué tal si veo algo?
Ay, aquí estoy yo, me dices, tranquila.
Ay, no. Mejor tú graba de este lado. Y yo me voy y grabo de este otro, donde está la cuna.
Bueno, a ver, cámbiate.
Es que mira, también acá está oscuro.
That night, two different faces were lurking at them from behind the shelves. It's pretty horrifying, and nobody saw it at the time. Only after reviewing their recordings. Pretty safe to say that nobody in the apartment slept that night anymore. After this incident, the family seemed to find themselves back in a downward spiral as more and more creepy events unfolded, as we see here.
Pues porque me siento nervioso. No hay nadie aquí afuera. También he prendido la luz, pues para sentirme un poquito más seguro. Se escuchan ruidos. ¿Se vieron acá? Vengan, vamos a ver. No, aquí no son. Vénganse, vámonos por acá. No sé qué está pasando. Mejor vámonos, vengan. Siéntame bien.
¿Qué pasó, hijo? ¿Quién está ahí? ¿Dónde, hijo? ¿Ahí? ¿Ahí dónde? ¿Quién está? ¿El niño? ¿El niño? ¿La señora?
His kids were seeing people in the apartment again, and after the capture from last night, it could be argued that it was the same inhumane entity that was visiting their home this afternoon. On one of the following days, Luan was home alone, and it shaped out to be the day with the strongest paranormal activity so far. He panicked a little and started filming the terrifying encounters. Take a good look now, as what was being captured that day was the most terrifying recording yet.
Mira, se está moviendo esto, pero no hay nada aquí, no hay nada aquí. De este lado se ve una sombra, No sé qué hacer, amigos. Estoy un poco nervioso. Se vio algo en la tienda. Venga, vamos a ver. Vamos a la tienda. Venga. Sí.
It was the first time that he could capture both full-bodied apparitions, and they were seemingly sitting in his living room, staring at him, a lady in the back, and whatever that scary-looking thing is. After this recording, there weren't any updates for many months. Luan apparently was too terrified to investigate any further. However, this January, he came back with a new update. He tells us about a priest he had contacted, who came all the way from Monterrey. He told him that there's nothing wrong with this place, but rather that Luan himself was haunted, a really old curse that has been carried forward by his grandparents, and that these two things had attached themselves to him. Although he knew more about what was going on in this house, there seemed nothing really helpful that he could do to rid of these two things. At least nothing at this point. On one of the following nights, things got a little crazy once again. Take a look.
La luz. Vamos a ver si ahorita escuchamos algo. Oye, ¿quieres escuchar algo? ¿Quieres escuchar? Oye, sí.
Se oye.
Se escucha en el techo, sí. Sí, se escucha en el techo. Yo clarito quise escuchar aquí al ladito de la cama, pero no. Eso es en el techo. Y se oye un ruido así como un crujido. Ya. Se escucha como en la pared también, Sí, déjame sumar rápido. Espérame. No hay nada. Están ladrando. Escucha. ¿Qué le he estado preguntando?
Un susurro.
No escuché nada. Dios mío, ¿qué será?
¿Voy atrás de ti?
No hay nada. No escucho nada.
This night, the shadow entities have made their way into the bedroom of Luan and his wife, and yet again, they didn't see it unfold at the time, but it is clear that this one was basically standing right next to Luan. An event that led to the last and certainly most terrifying encounter Luan has ever shared with the world. It was a common theme, he waking up in the midst of night due to weird noises. Let's take a look.
Y aparte se escucha ruido en el techo aquí alrededor. En el closet también se escucha ruido. No quiero despertar a mi esposa. Oigan, escucharon. Déjenme prender la luz. Se escuchan a los perros. Están alterados. ¿Escucharon? Ese ruido es del techo. pasando, pero sí me siento nervioso. Vamos a ver. No inventes. Se abrió la puerta. Se abrió la puerta como la última vez. Déjenme calmo. No hay nada. Se abrió la de abajo. Vamos a ver. No sé por qué los perros están tan alterados. Sí, algo abajo de la cama se escuchó algo. Se escuchó ruido, amigos, aquí abajo de la cama. Pero no hay nada. Esta zona. Yo no sé qué está pasando. Uy, los perros. Abajo otra vez. Abajo de la cama. ¿Sí escuchaste?
Did you see that? This terrifying shadow creature with long dark hair is peeking into the bedroom from behind the drapes. It just stares at them with a sinister gaze. The one CCTV cameras could capture many more of these really strange events that were unfolding in this store. But to this day, the family has not found a way to get rid of these terrifying entities. What do you think? Will they ever be able to? Let's keep an eye on that case and see what happens in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching.